Unlike some of the Ideal tools, the Winchester tools did not come with an integral mold. The mold was separate. It came along with the tool, but it was separate. The later models of the mold came with wooden handles. I wrapped these in leather in order to use them because they get quite hot when you're casting. With the tool fully opened, we see two chambers. The one on the left is the seating and crimping chamber. And with the addition of the decapping pin, it becomes a decapping chamber. The one on the right is the priming chamber. This part here corresponds to the seating and crimping chamber. This is actually the chamber right here. If we flip the tool over, we see on the bottom, this area takes the spent primer when it's decapped, and over here is the post that pushes in the live primer when you use it to prime the new case. This tool does not have any provision for belling the mouth, unlike the Ideal tools, which you can do it on the top of the seating and crimping chamber. This does not. This is some of the tools that I find absolutely necessary in order to use the Winchester reloading tool successfully. On the left you have a tool that bells the mouth of the case so it'll accept the bullet. Then you have the powder scoop. You have a reloading block. So these were made by myself. And you have the replacement decapping pin. The first step in using the Winchester tool is to decap the fired brass. That's easily done. We're going to drop the decapping pin into the decapping chamber, which is also the seating and crimping chamber. Put the fired cartridge in there. Close the tool. The primer's out. The extractor pulls out the deprimed case. Here we go, right there. The next step is to bell the mouth of the case so it can receive the bullet. If you do not do this, most of the bullets will not enter the case without this step. I constructed this from various components, and here's how I do it. Since the tool doesn't have any method of doing it, I just press it on and turn it a few times to bell the mouth. That's it. The case is now ready to be primed. The next step is priming the case. I'm going to take the case, put it in the priming chamber, right here. I'm going to take a live primer, put it in the primer pocket. I'm going to close the tool, and the primer is seated. And now we have a case ready for reloading or charging. In this detail, I'm going to charge the case. We're using real black powder because this is a black powder cartridge, and the tool was designed to seat and crimp black powder cartridges only. The reason for that is that the black powder takes up almost all the case, and the bullet actually compresses some of the black powder. If you use smokeless, there is nothing under the bullet, and the bullet will not be held successfully by the crimp that this tool is capable of doing. So you're obliged to use some kind of black powder or black powder substitute. I'm going to take this scoop, which holds 35 grains. I'm going to use this little Lee funnel, tap it a few times, and now we have a charged case. 35 grains of 2F black powder in this case. In this, the final step, I'm going to seat and crimp the bullet in the tool. I'm going to take the lubed bullet, place it in the shell. If it's in this loading block, it'll help you prevent spills, and it makes it easier to seat the bullet. Push it through, open the tool, put it in the appropriate chamber, which is the seating and crimping chamber right here, right there. I'm going to close the tool. We get some resistance. The bullet is seating, and now it's crimping at the end of the run. I'm going to open it up, pull it out and it's complete. I'm going to clean it off just a bit. And now we have a properly seated and crimped 4440 or 44 Winchester centerfire, depending on your desires. Once you familiarize yourself with the functioning of the tool and feel you're able to make some cartridges, the first thing I do is to make a dummy cartridge. That's a cartridge without any powder or any primer, so to see if it functions through the action of the weapon you're using. Why make a whole bunch of live cartridges and only to find that they don't actually work in the gun that you have? So I mark them with some with a Sharpie on the base and on the side, so I can distinguish them from live rounds. In this detail, I'm showing you 3 original Winchester 44 Winchester centerfire cartridges. These cartridges are from the Winchester factory, and they probably date back to the 1890s or the early 1900s. They are black powder cartridges, and they were probably the same as they manufactured from about 1880 through the end of the black powder period. 200 grain bullet. They are not fireable because the primer is dead and the powder is hardened into a solid block. I was able to take them apart, put a new primer in place, as you can see from this case over here. It doesn't take a standard rifle primer or large pistol, but rather a small pistol or a small rifle primer. And the cases and the bullets, relubed, fired perfectly well. In this detail, I'm going to show you 4 different bullets that can be used for the 4440, 4 of many, but these are the 4 that I have. Only 1 or 2 of these 4 actually work with the Winchester tool. It was designed to take a bullet that was either from the mold that comes with the tool or something very similar. The one on the far left is the one that is cast in the Winchester mold that I got with the tool. It's 0.425 in diameter, and it weighs approximately 200 grains, which is the standard bullet for the 4440 from its inception until today. The second one is from a Lee mold. Again, it's 200 grains, but this one is quite a bit larger in diameter. It's 0.430. The one here to the right is a commercially cast bullet, 0.426 in diameter, 200 grains. And the one on the far right is a Lyman gas check bullet, 232 grains, and it's about 0.427 diameter. So you can see they all vary. This one, of course, is a bigger bullet or a heavier bullet, and it is gas checked. Only these 2, the first 2, can be used successfully in this mold, in this tool, because this tool was designed for, has a special contour inside the seating chamber that only takes these 2 designs, and it's also designed to be used with black powder cartridges only. More about that later. In this detail, we see a close-up of the stamping on the side of this Winchester tool. First, it says 44 WCF, which stands for Winchester Centerfire, which is the original name of this cartridge. Today, it's commonly referred to as the 4440. Many companies, when they adopted this very popular cartridge, didn't want to use the Winchester name, so they renamed it. Underneath, it says patented in, among other things, it says in 1874 and then again in 1882. This tool is often referred to as the 1882 lever tool. This Winchester 1882 lever tool was manufactured for some 40 calibers around the turn of the last century, in about 1900, from 22 single shot through 45 sharps patched. These were both pistol and rifle cartridges, popular at the time. This is a page from the same Winchester 1893 catalog, and it's talking about the new repeater, which was new at the time. It was the model 1892 Winchester, and it was available in these 3 calibers, and the one we're interested in today, of course, is the 44 Winchester, and it has a lot of names. Here it's the model of 1873 because it was brought out in 1873 with the Winchester 1873. We also know it as the Winchester centerfire, WCF, and these days it's more commonly known as the 4440, meaning 44.44 diameter bullet and 40 grains of powder. One of the benefits of getting involved with these vintage tools is that sometimes you have to make some of the accessories yourself, which is a lot of fun for me anyway. In addition to the accessories that you saw, the loading block, etc., I replicated the an original Winchester ammunition label for the 44 Winchester, which is the cartridge we're dealing with today. Also, I took one of the original Winchester cases and made this powder scoop from it.